Hello everybody, my name is Emma, my life is like 50 first dates, and I do not have epilepsy as I was previously misdiagnosed with. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I did make a video explaining that I had focal discognitive seizures, which is what the neurologists and psychologists thought was going on with my brain. However, it was not the case, nay. Basically my brain is trying to be really nice to me, but it's actually being quite horrendous. Love that. I'm going to talk you through a super brief list because I've already recorded this once and realised it was going for way too long. I was boring myself. So looking at the past, my trauma and PTSD comes from online hypnosis, which I started doing as relaxation hypnosis, and then slowly it kind of changed hands and it got really dark and it could have led to human trafficking. I was being trained for that reason. Full disclosure, I do not blame anybody but myself. I started doing the hypnosis, didn't know where it was going to lead, I didn't like where it led to, but I did start doing it myself, so that is technically my fault. In present day, I have the dissociative fugue disorder, which is where my brain looks at the past and goes, that looks ridiculous and scary, why don't we not deal with that today? Why don't we just forget back to a year where you weren't doing that, or where it didn't matter as much? So what I'm going to do is a pretty cool little maneuver in post. I really hope I'm not lazy enough to not edit this. These are the kind of episodes that I have had in the past and that I am still currently having today. It all started with forgetting a few hours out of every day. I then started losing hearing and full touch in my body, which lasted for about 3 hours, maybe once or twice a week. Sometimes I'd get in the car, drive somewhere, pull on the side of the road and then wake up and realise that I've driven 100 kilometres into the middle of nowhere, not sure how I got there, even though my sense memory was all still in place. The most common one is the 2018 February 17th episode. This is where I forget back to that date and I'm not aware of anything that's happened up until present, which has been a little bit awkward with COVID because my partner Michael, who I will talk about in a second, the most amazing man on the planet, he has to remind me every time what's going on. More recently, we have had the winter episodes. Winter is a persona I had to create for myself during the hypnosis years because they were starting to ask me to do things that I morally as Emma could not do. So I had to create kind of a separate me to be able to handle that, who would not be able to think for herself as well as I do for me. I've also had hallucinations. This is where I will see things in my room when my brain is overtired and freak me out. And finally, the most common thing that happens about every 5 minutes or so is I dissociate. This is where I'll stare at a bit of wall and I won't realise I've been staring at it until maybe 10-15 minutes has passed, and then I'll kind of go about my day. I will mention the most amazing man in the entire planet right. I will mention him. His name is Michael. Michael is my boyfriend. I love him very much. He's the one who got me out of the hypnosis to start with. He realised I was doing something dodgy, closed down all the accounts, he shut everything off, and we just went completely cold turkey from hypnosis. And then we started dating. It was the most wonderful week before I started forgetting who he was and where I was and who I will say this though, he is the most incredible, patient, honest person I have ever met, and he has stuck through things that nobody else could possibly do. He looks for the positives in anything. He'll talk to me the next day and be like, yo, during the episode you said this, which I thought was hilarious. I asked you about this from your childhood. I get to learn about you from every year because I get to meet you from every year. And it makes me want to cry. Because he's just, yeah, he's really positive and he's really wonderful. A few quick pointers before I finish this video just to tie some things up. 2021 is the year that I'm sharing my story. I haven't really shared it much before, aside from with Michael's family, my family and close friends. I don't really like to talk about it because talking about it usually causes an episode. It's my brain's way of trying to protect itself. I've often been asked if I'm faking this or doing it for attention, if I haven't gotten enough love as a child. My psychologists are always saying, what happened in your childhood? What changed you? What made you feel like this? I, for the longest time, didn't know if I was faking it or not because everybody was saying that I was. But as time has gone on and this has continued to go on, I realised I can't stop it. I would really like to. I haven't shared it with many people. I'm not looking for the attention. I wouldn't want this to be a burden on the relationship, the best relationship I've ever had. There is no reason why I would be faking it. This year I'm really excited to try and find people like me who have this disorder because I would love to talk to them. I would love to know that I'm not alone, that I'm not crazy, that it is properly happening to me. I don't want it to be happening to me, but I want to know that this is something my brain needs to cycle through before it can recover. So in closing, I don't know what this year is going to bring, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the future. It's only going to get better from here. Thank you everybody for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and let me know and I'll answer them if I can. Michael is blowing his nose at me.